right. It's your girl Brianna, and we are here live today at Hip Hop Weekly with the one and only Mr. Hanky.
What's happening? I'm Mr. Hanky, producer, songwriter. Did a lot of hits with a lot of your favorite artists. Most recently, the smash hit with Lil Duval, Snoop, and Ball Greasy entitled "Smile Bitch," living my best life. We going crazy right now, and we really living our best life.
So congratulations on that.
Yeah, appreciate you.
How did you get into producing?
I got into producing originally just, I used to play instruments. I actually still play. I play trumpet and piano, and then from there I started DJing. And once I was DJing, I just realized what people wanted to hear. So it was a natural progression. I was like, okay, I can actually do this. So I just started making beats for people. They started buying them. They liked them. Here I am. Living my best life.
Okay. So, where'd you get your start?
Originally, I got my start in high school. But really, I started playing trumpet at like six years old. And before then, I started playing piano like 3 or 4. My mother, she's a classically trained pianist and choir director. And she's played with Atlanta Symphony Orchestra, you name it, Robert Shaw. And, it's in the family. So from there, my sister, my younger sister, she's a high school band director. So we both played in marching band in high school and college. So that's where all my music, started.
Okay. What's your favorite instrument out of all that you've named?
The trumpet, easily. I mean, it's the main instrument. It's the heart and soul of a band. Shout out to Southern University, Human Jukebox, the best marching band ever. But yeah, that's the trumpet always.
Okay. So as your profile continues to rise, where do you see music production taking you at in the future?
Where I hope it takes me, I'm really trying to actually put out my own albums right now, my own singles, kind of get my DJ Khaled on, because I've been so instrumental in helping other people's careers. I feel it's time for me to build my own profile instead of relying on the artists or the labels so much to help build it for me, because it's not, it doesn't necessarily pan out that way all the time.
Okay. So, who are some of the artists that you've worked with, you said, in the past?
Woo! Okay. You ready?
Ready.
So, 2006, 2007, Soulja Boy, when I was working with Collar Park Music. So, you had Soulja Boy, Yin Yang Twins, Hurricane Chris, VIC, Travis Porter, Waka Flocka, B.O.B., Tex James, Trillion Prince Rick out of Dallas with Walk Around the Club, F Everybody record. And then most recently, it was the California record with Colonel Loud, Rico Barrino featuring Young Dolph. Then after that came back with Luke Nasty with On the Way record, went gold. It went gold. I think it might be platinum now. I haven't checked. And now, earlier this summer, a couple other records in between. OT Genesis, Lil Wayne, Do It, and most recently, Fat Joe, Luke Nasty, and the Incredible Gang with Only You. And now we here with Smile Bitch, living our best life with Duval and company.
Okay, so how was it like working with Lil Duval?
Oh man, it's amazing. Like, he's really like, Duval is like, probably out of all the artists I work with, is probably the most focused. And I know that sounds crazy because people just view him as a comedian. But when we was in there doing the record, we was in there working. We was actually in there working on another record with Bebe out of Dallas. And he had this record with Zero called All These Drugs. So literally, when he did the actual intro for it, was just an intro. And he was like, man, I'm done. I was like, okay, cool. What about this Smile Bitch thing I've seen you doing on the internet, on Instagram, blah, 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 blah. And he immediately was like, okay, cool, let's do it. So that normally doesn't really happen a lot of times, because a lot of times artists are just stuck on what they're stuck on. Mm-hmm. So they're not open to, they're like, yeah, I'll get to it later on. He was like, okay, cool, pull something up. And it's ironic, the beat that I did that ended up being on Smile Bitch was actually a beat I did around the time I did California and On the Way.
Because isn't it a sample from Curious?
Curious, yeah, Midnight Star.
Mm-hmm.
And LSG redid it. So
yeah, right.
What happened was I did the beat like January 4th, 2016. And I had just been sending it out to different people, sending it out. And nobody got it. They was like, okay, I like it. Cool. And immediately when I put the beat on, that little skip that he does, he immediately started doing it. And he was just, that's what's dope about his stage performance.
Right.
That's exactly how he was in that small studio putting on the show. He's a real, showman. It's amazing.
Wow. So, well, you definitely have a hit there. And, how did you, did you know it was going to blow up this big?
Yeah. It was certain things that was happening when we initially did it. Number one, when we did it, when we first started it, the engineer who was engineering. Normally, when you engineer, you have an engineer doing a session, they're not really vibing with the song and they're not really dancing. So this guy was actually turning around and dancing with, in the seat. He was like, I was like, okay, cool, whatever. And we was going live on Facebook or something at the time. And people were just just going crazy. Oh, I love it. So literally about a month after that, we hadn't had anything in the back from him. And he just hit me on a Sunday morning. It had to be 8:30, 9 o'clock. And I got a text. He's like, Snoop about to do his verse right now. So I'm like on some Kevin Hart shit. I'm like, hold on, who?
Do his verse on what?
Snoop on what you talking about? And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So Snoop sent the verse in, and he was like, yeah, man, I'm gonna get Ball Greasy on it too. I was like, man, this is crazy because him and Ball Greasy are both from Florida. And he's just coming off of the Nice and Slow record, which was pretty big. It was like the perfect storm. And I never forget, when we went back to the studio to, put it back together, he went live again. And literally DJs that I have never heard from before was hitting me up in the DMs like, yo, send me that record. I ain't talking about the sports bar DJs. They cool. I'm talking about these radio people.
Wow.
So it's a catch-22 because it's a sample in it. Ain't no sample, nothing. We hadn't talked to nobody about getting it cleared or nothing. But the demand was growing for it so strong.
It didn't even matter.
It mattered, but okay. it was a delicate, line we had to walk. And literally it just went from there to the point. Some DJs, we didn't even have a clean version to it, and DJs started making their own clean version to it.
Okay.
Because the record took off so fast. Literally, the record wasn't even mastered. It just had a rough master. And he was like, man, I gotta get this record, gotta get it to the label. So I'm thinking they just go get it and listen to it. And then I see the iTunes link pop up. I'm like, oh, wow. So there's no clean version. We're scrambling. One of the A&Rs from the label hit me up. It's like, man, we got to get this done ASAP. I was like, I know I've been trying to get it done, but, he's everywhere, living his best life, skipping all over the world.
Right, all over the world.
And then you had people like Greg Street, he need to do a squeaky clean version. He need to do this. I'm like, it's major radio DJs hitting me up, and I'm like, I don't know where he is. He's on Instagram somewhere on the island somewhere, So we had to make it work, and we got it done though. It was cool. It's so crazy. It's every time you have a hit, there's a different group of people that come that you touch, because Duval has his own group of people he deals with. Every other artist has their own fan base. So you just start seeing different people from different walks of life, that you never thought you. It's always amazing the type of people that you encounter. Like, but the Duval record, I can't say has had the broadest reach because of the feeling it has. It's happy. You can't be mad. Every time you hear it, you could be having like a messed up day or mad at somebody, and you be like, okay, I'll live my best life. I ain't going back and forth with nobody. You're right.
Right.
And it's great for the culture, you know what I'm saying? So this one has definitely, especially in 2008 and 2018 that we living in and all this, you know, stressful times we living in and all this other stuff, it's like perfect timing. You know, so this one definitely is definitely a record setter.
Definitely, because it's even reaching the masses. It's reaching the pastors, and
I
seen like a post or something that he posted, and it's like the pastor, he even knew it, and it's like he wanted to say it so bad.
Yeah, he wanted to say, I ain't going back and forth with you niggas, because he tired of the deacon board, he tired of the choir director, he tired of everybody. So he he felt it, like he wanted to say it so bad in church.
I saw it. He did. Oh
so,
my goodness.
And then it's transcended, you know, racial lines and all the other stuff. You know, it's a lot of white people love the song.
They want to say it so bad.
They want to say the N word so bad.
Oh my God.
But you know, they've been respectful for the most part.
Right.
And but they get it, you know. And I think the ones who do say it, I don't think they're trying to say it in a racial tone, but yeah, but it's
right.
It's
that's what the song is.
Yeah, it is what it is.
That's what the song is.
You can't help but feel it. It's one of those messages behind it. But yeah.
Okay, so like, who are some of your influences that you look up to in this industry?
The main influence I look to in the industry would be like mainly the producers before me that came and endured the processes that producers go through. And I don't think a lot of people understand what I mean by that. Being a producer and a songwriter is probably the most important, yet the most looked over position in the industry, because it's like you literally take nothing, make something out of nothing every time. And oftentimes what ends up happening is, a lot of times we're not in the videos, we're not in the interviews, we're not on stage, but we're the most important part to the creative process.
Right, absolutely.
It's almost like a painter painting a picture without a canvas. Without that canvas, you can't paint a picture. And that beat, you can't write your painting to that without that beat, without that foundation. So I look up to those people who've done it, and I understand Kanye more and more every time, because if you're not over the top and just in your face all the time, you get looked over. If you're not doing all the being extra all in the videos and stuff, like the ditties and all that other stuff, I understand why they're like that now. Because if you're not, it's just like, okay, yeah, well, oh yeah, I forgot. Oh, we forgot to add you in a video. Oh, we forgot to call you for this. Oh, we forgot to, mention you in this and that and third. So I admire everybody, from especially like the people I used to work with, Mr. Collar Park, Jermaine Dupree, everybody who's done it on that level, because they've gone through that. It's a crazy situation to see a product that you created when you was by yourself, with your little computer or whatever, and you see it grow. But sometimes you feel like you're on the outside of it, because egos get involved, labels get involved, and it's a balance to actually try not to offend people, but still, speak up for yourself at the same time. So it's always a tightrope. You feel like you're walking on eggshells all the time. You want to be like, oh, I want to ask for this, but they might feel some kind of way, and it's just a process I've seen every producer go through, from Jazzy Faye to all of them. Because it's amazing, So that's my main influence is just on the business side, seeing how this thing really works.
Okay. So what's next for you?
So what's next? I'm actually getting ready to put out my own singles, probably my own EP.
Okay.
What they call it, get my DJ Khaled on,
right,
and put out my own records. Because that's honestly, just to piggyback what I was just talking about, that's what producers have to do now to get their profile up, to get their name known in society, or what they call it now, get their clout up. You know what I'm saying? It's like you got to do that now because it's just not happening the way it is because there's so many different angles into it to where, you get an artist signed, and that's why you have a lot of one-hit wonders right now because you get a hit record with an artist who didn't have a hit record, and now the label's involved, and they giving him records not knowing the whole process. They got the initial hit. So it's like I'm being forced to be that Kanye, DJ Khaled, just in your face type person. So that's what I'm about to do.
Okay.
Live my best life.
All right. That's dope. Definitely. It's like just listening to some of your other stuff is all hits pretty much.
Yeah.
All hits.
Yeah. So it's time for it too.
Okay. So right now, it's time. You about to turn up. You about to just.
I'm about to turn up.
You about to change it a little bit, switch it up. I
got to change the narrative. It's sad. I mean, that's why you see you see so many artists fall off, and you be like, "What happened to them? They had that big record." And then you got because everybody's trying to eat in this business, from the label that signs the artist to the A&R that signed them. Now he got his producers and his writers, giving them records. So of course, they getting something off of that. So it's a whole, little thing going on, and it's crazy,
Right.
But they all, that's what happens when an artist put the next single out, and they don't work, then they got to come back, and then it's this whole, it's crazy.
You definitely getting the recognition and the look, so we'll definitely be in tuned.
And as soon as I get this single finished, I'll send it to you. It's amazing. It's with some heavy hitters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, give us your social media so people can reach you.
Because I'm trying to sell flat tummy tea and waist shapers and all that other stuff too. You feel me?
Right.
And Fashion Nova and all that stuff.
Right. Yeah. Fashion Nova men.
Yeah, it's time for that. So, but y'all can hit me up on Instagram at Mr. Hanky Beat, AMRHANKYBEAT. That's the same for Twitter, Facebook, all of that, YouTube, everything.
Okay. All right. Well, definitely, keep doing your thing.
Oh yeah, we're gonna live our best life. Yeah, we got to.
Definitely.
The culture needs it.
Right.
And that's why I started doing the kind of music I'm doing from the California record. I just started doing stuff that feel good.
Right.
More than just trying to just compete with what's going on and all that other stuff. Because a lot of the stuff is cool, but you don't really feel nothing a lot of times. That's why it burns out so quick. But this, like your kid can listen to it. You don't, besides a couple of words, but the overall message to it is a great message. I ain't telling your kids to go, drink lean or smoke or, go pimp or whatever. It's just a good record.
Right, definitely. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, it was cool speaking with you and much success. And thank you for checking in with Hip Hop Weekly.
No, thank y'all for having me.